Hey, everyone out there in internet land, I'm Vinny,
I'm Joe.
and welcome back to Season 2 of the Retro Grab Bag Show. Today, we are going to talk about the final season of Game of Thrones. So what was it, 6 episodes?
Yep.
Season 8. A lot of them were longer, like the season before that, episode length. Epic in scale. Let me get your quick rundown. What did you think?
I mean, as a fan of the show from, I guess it came out in 2011, that was always every Sunday night when that was going on, we're looking forward to it. But the way season, I believe, 6 ended, you could start seeing that they were trying to get to the end. And my summary of the last 2 seasons, which I guess could combine into one real season from the past, is that they just rushed it to get it over with. And I don't know if that's because the material from the books ran out or don't exist yet or what, but I started getting that feeling right off the bat with, call it season 7, that it was just, okay, things aren't getting explained. They're moving quickly towards certain things. And when they announced that it would take a year and a half to go between season 7 and season 8, I was like, okay, then
that actually kind of lost me a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, when this last season came out, I enjoyed that recap they gave us, but at the same time, I kind of like your son Nick did. He watched them all recently, and I mean, I knew what was going on still, but I kind of felt disconnected.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so in my mind, though, I'm like, okay, if they're going to give them that much time, season 8's going to kick ass. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So hype was real for a year and a half, I believe, was the in between time. And April comes around, everyone's excited, and the first episode comes out. Not much happens. I'm like, okay, all right, they're just building up here. Second episode, again, not too much happens. They're just not going forward, other than saying a big battle's coming. The walkers are here. The Battle of Winterfell is going to be the biggest battle of all, and I agree on a scale that it was huge. In terms of how they did that. But again, the way that episode worked, it's, the Night King, for one, is like, that was like the biggest badass of the show.
That's my problem.
And the way they handled him in the army in that episode didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
The whole, the dragon fire comes down and hits him, and he looks up and smiles. I mean, when has the Night King ever showed emotion? I didn't like that. I didn't like how...
Yep.
I just didn't like how the whole ending came about. I thought there was going to be more of a connection with Bran and the Night King, or something cool on that respect, other than him just coming in, trying to get at Bran and dying.
Any explanation toward the Night King at all, which is still out there. I mean, maybe because the books didn't explain that. This didn't explain that.
That's one thing I found out, is that he didn't exist he hasn't existed in the books yet.
Oh wow!
The White Walkers, or the others, I believe is what they're called in the books.
Okay.
Are there?
Yeah.
But the Night King character himself does not exist. So
that's unreal.
But yeah, I mean, again, I mean the art and the scenes from that episode. I remember the dragons above the clouds, and
it was
I mean that kind of stuff was excellent.
Imagery, yeah.
The whole ending was good with Daenerys and the way she went nuts. But again, as you've said many times, did they explain really why she went crazy?
They showed her throughout the series, kind of, because she burned people alive. She definitely had no problem killing people. But that is actually one of my points toward the last season was, after she torched the city in that very 9/11 style, which I really think they were trying to hammer home. She in that last episode was pure. I mean, evil. They portrayed her as that dictator up on the looking over her army.
Yep.
Like they were trying to mimic images of our past. And is she really that? Was she really that evil? I don't know about that. A lot of people were upset that the last season kind of played out the way they did. I know some people that were upset about Jaime Lannister and Cersei's death. They just got pummeled by some bricks. You've been the enemy of this show that long,
Right.
and you're having bricks fall on you. Like, I know people who were just upset about that fact alone. For me, I actually did like the last season. I would probably give it like out of 10, I'd give it like a 7.5. The show actually seems like it ended you said how it seemed like they were amping the show up to get it over with. That last episode, the way it ended, actually seemed like a season finale from any one of the earlier seasons. Did not seem like a series finale.
Right.
They kind of stopped going big and brought the show back to the way they would have kind of eased out into a season. Don't you think? Like they kind of had that slower Game of Thrones feel toward the end. And I don't know. I think people were maybe a little too jarred from that. Yeah, the only a lot of people really liked it, or they didn't like the last season. I think what they should have did, and take this for whatever, is maybe for there were 6 episodes. Maybe for the first 3 episodes, somehow only get rid of the Daenerys and the Cersei aspect. You could have it play out the same way. Daenerys can go psycho. Cersei can die by bricks falling on her. Get that done by episode 3 or 4, and then wrap everything up with the whole Night King battle. Yeah, you can still have Arya do the Air Jordan at the end. Now imagine if that was your last episode.
Yeah, that
I don't think anyone
totally
would have
agree.
a problem with that. Yeah. And then you could still have 20 minutes after that long battle where, maybe Bran would have been the king of the 6 kingdoms before that Night King battle.
Yeah.
So,
but that's another thing too, where going back to where what I said earlier with Bran, it's like he was being amped as one of the major players, and ultimately he ended as a major player. But what is his real story? I know he turned into the 3-eyed raven, but it's like when he always would say things like "I live in the past." What does that mean? Can he go back? Did he really go back and manipulate anything in the past?
It seems like he did in the previous previous season. So
and
what
that was the stuff I was really looking forward to hearing more about.
Well, here's my other theory on that was, and this is ridiculously retarded, but I was thinking they would do like an Avengers Endgame style where he would go in the past, and I was hoping it would be something like he takes Arya's conscience and puts her back into her body before Ned Stark gets beheaded.
Yeah.
And that whole thing would set up a chain of reaction to where none of this crap happens.
That's pretty heavy.
But that's Endgame. And that's if you've seen Avengers Endgame, spoilers for all of this, they go back in time and fix everything. But yeah, I mean,
there could have been so many. I mean, there could have been.
But I understand. I just like to think about that.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, I think I know why they ended it the way they did. They wanted to give tribute to the main characters, not give them some kind of crazy, gross death, and have people get all upset like they did. With certain characters.
Yeah.
And they wanted, again, to keep it open where, hey, if we want to go 5 years from now,
absolutely,
they could fix every one of those. Daenerys isn't dead. I mean, come on. She got stabbed and the dragon took her away. I mean, Jon Snow was actually dead at one of the seasons and was brought back. So they can do whatever they want. Everyone mainly is still alive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could talk about this all night, but I think
we
in the end...
We will do a Game of Thrones thing later. We just wanted to kind of talk about that last season.
Because the season's fresh on our mind. But we are fans from season 1. And
what I missed the most and what was most affected for me, and I'm glad I remembered this, was the intro to this last season. They changed it a little bit visually. Now, and they've always done that, I think, to a little bit of an extent.
I've never noticed it.
I think they do, but this one they did a lot. Yeah. So the thing with me is, over the last so many years, whenever that theme song would come on and I'm watching that awesome intro, I would be filled with, I have no idea what's going to happen tonight. I don't know if we're going to see White Walkers. What the?
That was a White Walker over there, I think.
Something's happening.
Better wrap it up.
Yeah, I think there's a tornado. I don't know if we're going to see giants, White Walkers, dire wolves. Like, you didn't know what you were going to get. You don't know who was going to die. This last season, not only did they visually change the look of that intro, I felt like, oh, well, this is it. Yeah. It's like, I know what's going to happen, but I don't really know. I just know it's going to end.
Yeah.
So that whole magic really was it was sad. Like, it was kind of sad watching the season. I kind of think they did a somber ending as well, which HBO has done in the past, which we'll get into later with like 6 Feet Under and stuff like that. That's kind of
I
an
haven't
HBO
thought about
ending.
that till now.
That's
but
kind of an HBO ending.
6 Feet Under was.
Think about that.
Close.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for the final season wrap up. I mean, we'll talk about more Game of Thrones
I'm sure.
some other time. All right. Be nice to each other. We'll see you next week.
See ya.